Hi. Hello, guys. Good evening. Uju. Okay, so I think this is the earliest any of our guests have come. Showdemcamp is already here. So, I mean, I wanted to talk to you guys for like 5-10 minutes today. For real. No jokes this time. But I think, yeah, let's just go live.
Hello.
You're now rocking with the STC. Showdemcamp. Good evening.
Evening. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm doing good.
You're very early. I have to clap. Like you're the
You know,
earliest so far.
no, I got a reminder. I got a phone call like
Oh,
maybe
that's amazing.
10 minutes ago to remind me that, guys, 8 o'clock. Oh, don't forget.
Avi, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
So, where is our second?
Um, because we're actually apart. I'm actually in the UK at the moment. He's in
Oh,
Nigeria.
wow. Hey,
Yeah,
God. Oh, that's nice. Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So,
Okay, cool.
yeah,
Okay, so which one are you? Are you tech or are you ghost?
I'm tech. Ghost is with the deep voice.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
And what's your are you Olumide or are you
I'm Wale.
Wale? Okay.
Yes.
So very nice to meet you, Wale. Tech. I can call you anyone. I'll be Tech or Wale.
Anyone that you feel more comfortable with.
Okay, fine, thank you. Okay, you guys are two of like the best rappers. Sorry, I always tell people I'm very old school, so I always have my pen and my pad. I don't joke with
Now
it, so
that's
I write down things. I write down things. So from time to time, I try to, you know,
yeah.
follow. So yeah, so as like I was saying, you're one of the two best rappers in the country, recognized by proper hip hop heads, and then you guys are one of like the two biggest Ote music people. Like, how do you guys balance it? How do you do it? Because you're rappers first. I mean, you're proper hip hop rappers, and then you are. How are you
I think that
doing this?
like the first thing is that I like you said we're rappers first.
Yeah,
We're rappers first. We're actually like we're fans of like hip hop from like Notorious B.I.G., Tupac, Redman, Eminem, Nas, Jay-Z. All those guys are people that we grew up on.
yeah,
And so for us, it was always we just wanted to rap. That was really the truth. And then I think because we went to school in the UK, when we moved back to Nigeria, um, we then started thinking about it as a career because before we're just rapping for our guys and like
yeah,
yeah, and just like sharing the music with our friends. But when we now thought it was going to be a career, we now had to start thinking of how to make them songs and enjoyable songs, not just like rap and like to show you are the best rapper, you know.
yeah,
So yeah, so I mean, like I don't know if a lot of people say we are Alte.
yeah.
I don't. I
You
just think
are Ote. Me, I'm agreeing with that.
you know, I think that like I think we try and balance it like every project we do. So we might do a palm wine project, then we have another project called Clone Wars, which is more for the rap head. So we always try and like
Mhm.
do something to please both sides of our
So,
fan base,
yeah.
and it's a very conscious effort to do that as well.
Yeah, okay, so you're going to make me skip and move right to one question. You said you guys were both in the UK, but I know you both were born here, and then one of you grew
Yes.
up in Yankee and the other grew up in UK. So how did two of you get to be together in the UK at the same time?
So
Or how did you guys meet?
so what's crazy is that officially we met at university.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
but what's crazy is that there was a friend of mine who I went to primary school with who Ghost started dating at the time.
Hmm.
Um, and whilst they were dating, she found a picture from her 10th birthday party, right, of the three of us. So me, she was in the middle, and Ghost was on the other side. And we were all
Oh,
10 at the time. So we had even met each other before we
way
knew
back.
that we had met each other. I'm sure at that time it was dancing competition, and you were trying to win the best
Yeah.
dancer and take a parcel home. But yeah, but I think that like we met at university officially. I
Mm,
went to a university called Coventry in the
okay.
UK. And at the point where I got there, like I just come into the university. He was a year above me, and I felt like I'm such a bad rapper. I was telling everybody that I used to rap, and they told me that they have some local champions in the university, and so like I formed a group with some of my other guys, my flatmates at the time, and some of my other guys were in a group, and they were kind of like the other group. But whenever they would rap, it was always Ghost that was like, man, if we could just remove this guy from their group, we'll be better than them, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then after university, I think like, in the end, like a lot of friends, because they were all just doing it for fun, and at the end of it, like people got jobs, people started doing other things, and then we realized that somehow we're the last two guys who, didn't, for like, we didn't grow up. Let's put it that way. We continued doing it. Although we did go like and work in different jobs at different times. He moved to America. I went to Amsterdam to go and work. I worked for like 3 years in like finance, and then we moved back to Nigeria. And even when we moved
Wow.
back to Nigeria, the plan was not even to do music.
Music.
The plan was just to like come back, see. I hadn't been to Nigeria at that point for some time, so it was just like, let me see what Lagos is like. Let me come back for 6 months and just, yeah. Somehow, again, we started doing the music here again, and yeah, the rest, as they say, is history.
So you guys moved to Nigeria at the same time?
No, so he moved a year before me actually.
For you.
He moved a year before me. He was back. He had moved back. I didn't even plan to move back. I came for Christmas one holiday, and I was like, man, Lagos is crazy. Like, cause I hadn't been for like maybe 5 years or something. And then I came back for one holiday, and like, I just remember going 11:45, all these different.
That's way back.
Yeah, that's way back. All these clubs, Bacchus.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, Lagos is crazy. And then um, Ghost and some of my friends, they started an entertainment company called Dojo's Management, and they were about to go on tour with Two Face and friends. It's like an MTN tour in 2008. So I came back and like they were going on this tour, and I was like, man, like it would be mad to actually just go on this tour with them. I've never been around. I'd only been to Abuja and maybe Ondo States, where my mom is from, as a child, but I've never been around any other parts of Nigeria at that time. And they were going to go to Enugu, they were going to go to the north, they were going to go to different states. So I'm like, man, rather than go back to work, how about I stay and go on this tour with you guys? you yeah. So I mean, I went back to work. I took a sabbatical for 6 months, and then came back to Nigeria. And I've been there. It was meant to be a 6 month sabbatical. I've been back
And
now
it became forever.
since 2008. So yeah,
Whoa.
yeah,
Wow. Okay,
yeah.
so where did you get the name Tech? Like, was that a nickname or was
Yeah,
it
it was a nickname.
okay?
I used to play football when I was in King's College. I used to play football. So like just from playing football, people like back then. That's sure how old we are. To be honest, but back then when something was mad, they'd be like, "Yo, that's tech, man. That's too tech," or something like that. And so when I play football, they just started calling
Actually, I
me.
remember that slang now.
Yeah,
No, I'm not
they
your mate,
started calling
but I
me tech.
remember.
Yeah, exactly. So they started calling me tech, and then when I got to Europe and I started rapping, I just thought, what can I call myself? So I started making up, like I started making up explanations like tech stands for
Hmm.
third eye concealed or take extreme caution or something. I was just adding,
Hmm.
you know, and yeah, I just started calling myself tech. But back then, I wasn't really a serious rapper. I used to like love Mace. So I used to just write Mace raps for the people in my school that didn't know Mace. I'll pretend like they were my raps. you know, I'll be rapping Mace for them, and they thought I was the coolest guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell us why or how you guys started the Palmine music, because I mean you people have been blocking and killing Muri Okunola Park back to back, like over 5,000 guests. I know I passed, like when I get to that zones in December,
hmm
I cannot pass, I cannot move. So how did you guys conceive the Palmine music idea? You know?
Yeah. So we did a song in 2013 called "Feel Alright" with Budge
Mm,
and Ladipo, and whilst when we did the song, the producer at the time, Jules, who later went on to produce Skin Tight and all the songs for Mr. Easy, he said to us that he sampled some old palm wine record, you know, and there's a genre of music in West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia called palm wine music, but from like the 70s and 60s. It's a kind of like high life, a form of like high life music, you know. So we thought, oh wow, like this is great. Like how do we like we didn't even know about this, but we're sampling this palm wine sound. And so Feel Alright was the first song we did that was any like had any palm wine influence. And for the longest time, we were literally trying to find like because as rappers, we're trying to find a sound that Nigeria would accept from us. Because everybody would tell us at that time, Nigerians don't like rap. Nigerians don't like rap. You can't rap here, you know. So, and at the time, the most successful rapper was Nato C, you know. So we tried to do his type of like, you know, Kenny Big Deal flows. It didn't fit us or our style. We tried to do like, you know, our normal hip hop. Like people liked it, but they were not really accepting it like that. And when we did other songs like we had a song called Ugidiga. Sorry, I need to shut the door. We had a song called Ugidiga at the time, and I feel like those songs we just hated like performing them because we felt like we were trying too hard to fit to the industry. But when we did Feel Alright, that was the first song that we did that like people like we had a song called Farabale which people accepted and they liked. But when we did Feel Alright, that was the first song that everybody just started like going crazy for, you know. And so at the time, like a few years later, we now decided that come, if that's the song that people like and we feel comfortable performing as a commercial song, quote unquote, you know, like let's do some more of this type of sound. So we did Palm Wine Music Volume 1. When we started it, I told Ghost, I said, I think that this thing can be bigger than just the music. You know, I feel like this thing can be a whole like culture, a whole movement, a whole lifestyle. Because like I feel everything we have in Nigeria is like Hennessy, Moe, all these things that are imported to Nigeria. So how about we take something that is very local, very organic, and is our own, and then we send it back out and we make it cool, you know. And you know, we thought like in my mind I was thinking about like a festival maybe even in New York or London where people are coming, black people, white people, and you're teaching them about palm wine and they're eating African food and all of those things, and we're sharing African culture. So that's the bigger vision of the festival. But we started in 2020, so 2019, 20, yeah, so 2016, I think 2017 was the first one. And that was just because we did a show on Independence Day with Jameson. Like we were the headliners, and 1,500 people came. So we were like, if we can pull 1,500 people to somebody else's show, what about if we did it ourselves and we brought all our friends and we brought everybody? And yeah, that's how it started.
Wow, amazing. So how did you guys grow your fan base?
How do we grow our fan base? I think just being, you know, people ask this question. A lot of artists ask us this question a lot. Like, how do you guys grow your fan base? How do you guys stay different? I think the truth is just like everything that, for us, we made a decision that everything we put inside our music has to be very honest to us. You know, I feel that I can't be talking about driving in the Bentley and then you see me on Falmore Bridge in a Kia Sportage and that's not the guy that was driving in the Bentley on the song. You know, like we have to like try and keep it as honest as it is. I think that honesty, I think the quality of the music, and I think the consistency in our music, because we've been doing this since like, you know, like I said, we moved back 2008. The first record we released was maybe 2009, 2010. So about 10 years now. Been releasing music at Showdemcamp, and I think it's just that consistency and trying to stay, like someone said here, trying to be authentic. You know?
Okay.
Yeah.
So on your latest jam, it's called That Year. You talk about a friend that died. Can you tell us
Yes.
about him and what happened?
Yeah, so he's a very close friend of mine called Adeola Randolph. He was, so like when I said I was in Coventry and I was in another group, he was a member of my group then. We lived together for some time in university. Our families became very close. You know, till today I'm still very close to his sister, his brother. And you know, and we've moved back to Nigeria. He moved back before me, I think. And it was funny, and I say on the song as well, like that there was a moment where you know, as guys in Lagos, we are both moved back. Everybody's still trying to find their feet. So I met up with him. At the time, he was struggling financially. Like he said to me about how, man, this Nigeria is tough. Like I think I'm going to try. I might move back to London. And at one point, a year or two later, he got some job with some oil company, and he suddenly became very successful, you know, with the oil company. And I remember one day he came to pick me up. So I say in the song, he came to pick me up in a brand new Mercedes Benz, you know, and he was saying to me about how, like, guy, just 2 years ago, I was telling you I was about to quit this country and move, and see how things have changed now. That, you know, that you guys should just continue. We had a very deep conversation that day, that you guys should just continue what you're doing, man. That somehow things will change, you know. And we had this convo not up to maybe a year later. We were having a video shoot actually on the day for one of our songs called Getting You. And on that day, like we got like I got a phone call from one of my friends that, oh, this guy Adiola has come to the house to look for us, but we're at this video shoot. So I said, tell him that I'll call him when we finish the shoot, like, you know, because his oil company was in Abuja, so the fact it was in Lagos, you know, already, like, I tell him that once we get back, once we finish the shoot, we'll call him. By the time I get home after the shoot, we get him about midnight. I remember I got a call from Lynx, because Lynx knew him as well. And Lynx called me and he said, bro, that have you heard the news? And I said, what happened? And he said, Adiola is dead. And I said, no, it's not possible. You know, he came round to the house today. I even woke my friend up. Didn't you say he came round to the house today? He said, yeah, he came this afternoon. He was here this afternoon. So I said, it's not possible. Like, there's no way. Cobain. That was his rap name, Cobain. That there was no way
I
that.
saw someone type that now. I was
Yeah,
wondering.
yeah. There's no way that Cobain is dead. It's not possible. So we started making some calls immediately. We found out it was true. We all rushed to the hospital in Lekki. Yeah, and he basically he had asthma all through the time, you know, we'd known each other, and I think he had like an asthma attack. And the hospital they
Oh,
went to
wow.
initially in Lekki didn't have any oxygen at the time. And you know, and it's something really basic, because in the UK, like when you have asthma attack, ambulance will come within 10 minutes, they're there, they give you oxygen, everything is fine. So it was just something like really crazy that, like, you know, something like that, you know. But it was really like the most painful. It was the first time anybody, you know, I lost my dad when I was pretty early, but then I was young, so I didn't really know him. So this was the first time
Oh,
that
wow.
somebody that I was really close to, that I broke bread with as a brother, who I lived with, who I spoke to, you know, who we had hung out with, we had done everything, had passed. So all of us were completely devastated. For even like, I don't even think, for like 6, 7 months, we were completely like, not just me and Ghost, like our entire friend group. Yeah, we're just completely devastated. There's a friend there, Shalala, who is in the comments, who was actually there that day with us as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
That's sad. Like, very basic stuff. Oxygen. That's really sad. And it's always a
yeah.
problem in this country.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on. Who was the guy in the wheelchair at the end of Happy Weekend Sir
Happy
video?
weekend. He's a
Yeah.
guy who you know how you have boys on the road whenever you go to a club. Bros,
Yeah.
let me park you. Yeah. So there was one of
Hmm.
these guys who was outside. I forget what club it was. He was always there. And he always used to like I think it was outside Hard Rock Cafe or somewhere like that back then, or I don't remember. But yeah, anyway, it was this guy, that one of the guys that controls the streets, that was always. So we just finished one day, and like from the club, and then we saw him, and then he just started busting a rap. So we're like, "Wait, stop, let's get the camera." So we filmed it, and then he was busting that rap, and then funny enough, that's how it came on the that's how it came on the video.
Somebody just wrote tech baby due 8th of June. What's going
No,
on?
my friend Shalala is expecting a child, so his baby is due on the 8th of June.
Oh,
Congratulations.
congratulations!
Salute, bro. Salute.
Okay. So were you guys always two?
Yeah, we were always two in terms of rappers.
Okay.
We have another two guys who, Femi and Tolu, who are also part of Showdemcamp. They were more of the business side of things. So they were you know, more involved, like pushing the music and financing a lot of the projects that we were doing at the time. So it was literally like, you know, we'll handle the business, we'll handle the finances, you guys just rap, you know. And so initially when we started, there were four of us.
Okay.
And then, yeah. And then there was also Ladipo, who was not an official member of Showdemcamp, but he was
Okay.
someone that we embraced, and we put him on our songs, and you know, so yeah.
Because I think I noticed he was always on most of your videos. So
Yes,
yeah.
yeah, he was. He was.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys always seem to be the first people to work with all the newcomers. How do you spot them? How do you grab them? Like you don't waste time. Before you know it, bam. So how do you guys do that?
I think that is just from being fans of music, to be honest with you. Like, I did
Okay.
a live yesterday, and it was funny. A lot of people just called up and wanted to rap, and wanted to sing, or wanted to do
Hmm.
something. And there are a few people there that, like, you know, for us, it's not really about whether you're established or you're big. If you're talented and you're amazing at what you do, then we always
Hmm.
want to work with you, because we always want to try new sounds. We always want to try new things. So a
Hmm.
bunch of people, who came on yesterday, for example, I've already taken their names. I kind of definitely want to connect with them. And that's really what it is. Somebody will tell me, have you heard this guy, Buju? I'll hear his song. I'll be like, wow, this song is amazing. You know, how do I connect with him? Sometimes it just happens. Like Buju in particular, I went to his studio to work with a Ghanaian producer called Kuvi. And I get there, and I've been hearing about this Buju guy, but I'd never met him, you know.
Yeah.
And then I now literally just met him there on the spot. I heard his voice. I was like, I have a song that I think might be perfect for you. And
Wow.
he was like, yeah, I'm super excited to work. Yeah, and that's how sometimes, like, someone like Lady Donley, she sent a message on Instagram, on Twitter, saying, my dream is to do a song with Showdemcamp, you know. And so I went and listened to her music, and I was like, yeah, let's do it. You know, like, it's that simple. If your music moves us, so I feel like it can merge with our own music, then we're always open to working.
That's really amazing. No, not everybody gets to be as open as you. It means that you guys, your DM is very open, both on Twitter and Instagram, because a lot of people don't even get to see messages that people send. So for you guys to take out the time, read
Yeah.
messages, tweet back, and then even put them on your songs, you guys are doing amazingly, amazingly well.
Yeah.
So, which upcoming artist impressed you the most, and which upcoming rappers impressed you the most?
Let me start with rappers.
Mm-hmm.
With rappers, there's a guy, probably, again, a lot of people may not have heard about him. There's a guy, he's based in Ibadan. He has a team out in Ibadan. His name is Moss. He's a rapper there. I heard his stuff. His sound is amazing. Um, there's a guy, I'm going to, even though this is completely off topic, there's a Ghanaian guy called Kofi Mole, who is also a
Okay.
rapper, who is actually amazing as well. Rappers, I mean, there's obviously guys like Boogie, people like Payback, you know, guys like that are very, like, young guys that are coming up that I think are very dope. Boogie has been around for a while, so he won't really be a young guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think rap wise, there's somebody I heard. There's a female rapper called Shalom, who is a Nigerian, but she's based out in DC. She just released a project called Mint Green. She's amazing. She's an amazing rapper. Obviously, Ladipo, that's my brother. And yeah, I think those are the guys that I'm checking for. I'm sure I've missed some people, and they'll come to mind at some point. But yeah,
Okay.
and then upcoming artists. I'll say my favorite artist now currently. I don't even know if she's upcoming anymore. But my favorite artist is Thames. Um, I would say, yeah, I would say Thames. I would say, um, I would say there's some twins in Abuja who actually came on my live yesterday. Oiza and May, who I think are very fresh. I like what they do with their sound. Dami Oniru. Um, then in terms of like mainstream guys, I like
Yeah.
Oxlade, I like Fireboy. But all of these guys, they're not new. Like
No, no,
they're
they're not new like
they're
that.
not new. They're blown guys, man. Yeah. You know, yeah. I like a kid called, randomly, people may not even believe, I like there's a kid called Bella Shmurda that I
I've
heard.
heard of her. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I like his stuff as well. Yeah.
Okay. So you've worked with legends from Two Face to Borna. What was it like working with them? And then who has been your absolute favorite working with on your project?
This is a very difficult question because
Okay.
I think that for me, I've worked with, yeah, we've worked with a lot of people, right? But with a lot of people, like Burna Boy, for example, is someone that we tried to work with in the past. We finally called him one day. We entered the studio. We did the songs, couple of songs together.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I have physically seen Burna Boy since the day we did the songs together. You know, because he's always on the move. He always
Yeah.
goes somewhere. Yeah. For me, I really, if I'm being completely honest, I really prefer making music with my guys. You know, so those with Tommy Thomas, Wani, Bodge, Poe, Fumbi, Ajay Butter, the main people that you would expect to see at a palm wine concert. The reason why we make so much music with them is because those are just our guys. Those are people that like we hang out with. And I feel it's always easier because when you want to do a show, or you want to do an event, or you want to do something, you can call
Mm-hmm.
your guy on the phone and say, guy, show, and he will come. As opposed to an artist that might be amazing, but you may never see him.
Yeah.
We did a song with Two Face. I don't think we've ever performed that song with Two Face
Wow.
before. I don't even know if Two Face remembers that song. Like to be honest. So yeah. I mean, so for me, I would rather just make music with like my close friends. I feel like it makes it more special if it's with your
Hmm.
close friends.
Hmm. Okay. So what would you say is your biggest song?
What's our biggest song?
Yeah.
Hmm. I mean, we still close our shows with Feel Alright, but in terms of numbers now, funny enough, like the biggest song in terms of like streaming numbers that we have is Tropicana.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So, most times I've realized that a couple of artists or people that I know or I've interviewed, most of their favorite songs are never their biggest songs.
yeah.
So, do you know Ghost's favorite song? Because I know both of you might not have the same favorite song. So, what's your favorite song? What's his favorite song? You know?
I may not, I don't know if I know Ghost's favorite song.
Okay.
And I know that even if I was to guess, it'll probably be like, I'll probably be off completely. Um, my own favorite songs, I would say there's a song on Palm Wine Music too called The Guardian. I would say there's a song on Palm Wine Express called Too Bad. Tales by Moonlight. I like a song we did called Sweet Love that not too many people may have heard. Um, what else do I like? I like a song we did called Rise of the Underdogs. Yeah, I mean, I just like,
I
yeah,
like that song. Yeah. Even the name
yeah,
alone was catchy.
yeah. I like
Yeah.
Rise of the Underdogs. And then, yeah, there's a song called Duade that they just mentioned here, which is a song I did with a Ghanaian singer called Sena Soul. I really love that
Okay.
song. Popping Again, I like because the verse on that song is very personal to me. But yeah, those are the songs I would say. I have too many. It's like asking somebody to pick one of his children and saying like, who's your favorite child? You know.
Yeah. Okay. So, what were the toughest parts of choosing this path? Like, did family always support or agree with you?
Wow. um, I feel that like I have to answer this question by shouting out my sister. Um,
Okay.
because my sister is the firstborn and
Okay.
she dropped out of, well, she didn't drop out, she switched schools from I guess like one of these American, I don't know if they call them Ivy League schools or whatever, or HSB or whatever American people will slate me sharp, but those American schools, to go to like a black school so she could do acting. She wanted to be an
Okay.
actress, So I think she probably received most of the bullets that
For you guys, yeah.
she
Paved the
took all
way.
the bullets for us in my family. Yeah, like, and so as a result, like I mean, when I decided that I wanted to do music, and like I left the job in finance to do music, I still received a lot of bullets. But I think, it's funny that most of the bullets were from family members, but not directly my mother.
Okay.
I think my mother she had run out of bullets on my sister. And so I mean, yeah, like my family had like interventions. They tried to talk me out of it. They spoke to me about the wisdom of what I was doing. Uncles and different people would always get involved. I think maybe one pastor even my mother brought one
Wow.
pastor to talk to me. And I feel like, yeah, but me, I'm very like, I feel the main things that I've always believed that, like, I've always believed like this music thing, I feel like we cheated in a way. And the reason I say that is because, like, Ghost is one of the best rappers I've heard, like, in my own life as a person and I've rapped with many people, right? So for me, it's literally looking at it that, okay, I'm rapping with this guy who's one of the best rappers, which will make me a better rapper. And all we need to now do, if I believe so strongly that this guy is one of the best rappers, and I believe that I'm a good rapper as well, then we just need to continue this thing. And eventually people will believe, when I'm not mad, people will believe what I believe, and so I really feel that stubbornness, or that's like that stubbornness and that belief in what it is that we do, was what always kept me going. Like there've been moments where my family will be like, can you see you're broke now? Can you see your mates? This person just did XYZ. This other person just did XYZ. I remember one of my uncles told me, he said, you see, the problem with this industry that you guys want to get into is that you're always going to be meeting your peers, people that you went to school with, who are now brand managers and all of that. You're always going to be going with your cap in hand to ask them for money. So that's
Oh,
the
wow.
problem with this industry, which was also why I was like, you know what, now we have to start our own festival. We have to do our own thing, because we can't just depend on that. Obviously, yes, we still do a lot of things with brands and stuff, but we try as much as possible to just to hustle on our own, and yeah, it was difficult, but we're here.
Okay, so let's get a bit personal. Who are the special somebody's, in your life or in your life? Since it's you I'm saying, I mean babes, so that you will not, if I don't specify, you will go and tell me my mom, my dad. No, let me go direct.
I was ready. I was about to say my mom.
I knew.
I was about
So,
to say. I feel like it's a very the generic answer I could give to that is I'm in love with the music,
no, no,
but
no, no, no. We'll stop
I'm
you
not
over
going to
there.
give. But I'm not going to give
Uh-huh.
a generic answer.
Mm.
As much as possible, like I do like to keep my personal life private, but I have a girlfriend. I have somebody that,
How do people that be
yeah.
writing my boo? Sorry, in the comment section. I'm very. I don't know why this is so funny, but I'm sorry. All of one day, control. Sorry, he has a girlfriend. Like he's
Yeah,
hooked. People should not
I
be
have a
angry.
girlfriend. I have a girlfriend. I have somebody that, like, yeah, is very, um, is very important in my life. Is
Oh,
very, is plays a big part in my motivation to even just like grow as a person, grow as a man, grow as a musician. So yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's sweet. See how you calm down. That it looks like you're a
Someone
romantic
said
somebody. One
table,
thing
table dismantled. Wow.
I think because I've been trying to multitask between listening to you and reading the comments. So I don't know if you've been seeing the comments, but people have been screaming my boo, my love. So I was just building up.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry for the heartbreak, guys. Don't be angry.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you prefer the CD era or you prefer this streaming era?
I prefer the streaming era 150, 1 billion
Why?
percent. So our story is deep. Like when we first came to Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
um, our first album, we literally thought about how are we going to get this album on the streets. Like we don't have a big set. That time it was
Yeah.
guys in Alaba that we had to go and meet. So we actually physically went to Alaba market. Like, and it was not an easy journey because first of all, the traffic, then Alaba market itself is not the most pleasant place, right?
Mm-mm.
So we get to Alaba, we speak to, I've forgotten the name of the guy who was the biggest like the biggest distributor at that time,
Yeah.
marketer. It was called the marketer, the biggest marketer at the time. The guy was like, he has never heard of what Showdemcamp. He has never heard of that. What's that? That in fact, rather than not paying us money to promote our CD, that we have to pay him money to
Uh-uh.
promote our CD. That we should
Wow.
find 1 million naira to promote
How
like
long ago was this?
this is like maybe 2010.
1 million in 2010.
In 2010, the guy said,
That
you guys
guy
will
is
find 1 million naira, I'll spread it around the country, blah blah blah. So what we did is that we now even found a young guy that same day. I don't know how the guy came to approach us. He was a young guy in Alaba.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Albino Music. He probably was. There was a young guy in Alaba at the time who we had met, who was the one who took us into the market. And the guy said, bros, man, look, me, I can open up a shop. I have all these connects as well. You understand? And shop here, the rent is this amount or whatever. And it was significantly less than what they were asking us. So the guy was like,
Yeah.
he would sell our CD, he would sell other people's CDs. He would, so we gave him money. We actually opened a shop in Alaba that year. It sounds crazy. And to be very honest with you, like I actually now with hindsight, I look at that guy got us well because he was probably looking these are Jebo guys from Ikoyi that even coming into Alaba is stress for them. Where would they come and chase me for this money? So like so we never heard from him again. Like I mean we heard from him for a while, but
Yeah.
after a while we never got any money back from that venture, to be honest. And we just we paid for our music to go out. So now I think the beautiful part about this era, I mean, it has its pros and its cons, but the best thing is that I can do a song today where I am. Ghost can record in Lagos right now. We can put it out, and people in Japan can hear it tomorrow.
Sure.
And I feel like that aspect of like digital music is what is helping everybody. All the different, and you don't have to, because in Nigeria before, the gatekeepers, Alaba, the people on radio you have to pay, the people on TV you have to pay. Everything was just now put your music online, let it go. Most of these Alte guys or Dunsi and all of them, it's really SoundCloud that really popped off their own movements and their career. So yeah.
Okay. So who are your top 5 musicians, both local and international, that you guys want to work with? Maybe that you guys have sat down to discuss and then you're hoping to work with.
Local, I really would like to do a song with Asha. I really would like to do a song with Asha. Like I would say that's one of the things, and I think I might have told you before, that's one of the things I'm jealous about Nitosi, because Nitosi has a song with Asha. And I was actually very jealous because I was like, damn, like how can we get on the track with her? So that's the one person locally that I think I would want to work with. Potentially as well, I think it might be interesting to do something with Simi. I think so. I think like our sound with Simi will go very well.
Blend.
I would say everybody else, I think we have kind of worked with already. Like Burna Boy, Two Face, people that I look at as legends, and I want to, I'm trying to think of who else before I forget somebody now. And
Turn to Wahala.
I think that like we used to be friends very early on in his career, but I think that like I would also want to do something with Fino as well. I think that we can do something hard, like super hard. Other than that, I can't think of. There may be some new school guys, Fireboy or someone like that as well that I think. But normally we always work with all these new school guys. So I mean, I would love to do a song with Naira Marley, who sounds crazy as well.
Mado.
I actually would love to do something with Naira Marley because I feel like he doesn't care, man. He doesn't send. And I feel like he will bring out another side of our own kind of music. So I think those are people I like to work with locally. Internationally, my own list is very different from Ghost. So I'll just say for myself, I'm a big fan of like reggae music. So I would want to work with I'd want to work with Damian Marley,
Hmm.
right? I would want to work with an artist Chronics.
Okay.
I say Damian Marley Chronics. I would want to work with to be honest, I really want to work with like a Kendrick Lamar.
Hmm.
To be honest, me personally, just to even test yourself at that level, you know, it
Yeah.
might destroy us, but we'll know that that
You
day
can
we're
never
dying
say.
there. We're
Can
going to
never
die
say.
there on that track.
Yeah.
Um, I know Ghost will kill me if I don't say J. Cole, so I'll say J. Cole as well. So that's four people.
Yeah.
The fifth person who I would really, 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 really love to work with, but I don't know if she's even active or doing music. It'll be an honor for me in my own life. She have one of my own life achievements. One in Nigeria is Asha, but globally is Lauryn Hill. If we can do a song together, I'll know that I've
You are
yeah,
made.
yeah. I'll tell my
Mad.
children, remember that time I did a song with Lauryn Hill? Me. That's one of those ones for me personally.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So same thing, but in producers, locally and internationally, who do you want to work with?
Producers locally, I want to work with SARS. We can't afford him, but
Saz, can you hear? Please come
he
down,
knows,
reduce your price.
we have entered studio before. Then he gave us the
Hi.
bill. Then when he
And
gave
you
us
went
the
out.
bill, I said, Baba, we're not at this level yet. That was like many years ago though. So I don't know whether he will give us, now that we have, grown small, maybe he'll give us a nicer bill. Um, yeah, I'll say SARS for sure. Um, I would say I would really love to work with Lyric as well.
Okay.
We've done a couple of songs together, one for his project and one he did for us that we never really finished. But I'd love to like sit down with him and really like, build some sounds and work on something with him.
Mm.
Producers, uh, yeah, I'll say like Saz and Lyric, to be honest with you, because the guy who worked with Sparks, to me, is one of the most amazing producers. So I already know that like he produces all our stuff. He's produced all our stuff for the last 4 or 5 years. So even if I don't
Oh,
work with any other producer again,
you're good.
I'm good. Someone just mentioned, yeah, I'd love to do something with Don Jazzy actually.
Hmm.
I feel like Don Jazzy can cook up one of his old bangers for us. We'll be honored. Um, Internationally, producers, I would say that internationally, like even though a lot of people don't have, I guess, gone funny on him, or he's gone funny on a lot of people, I'll still
Hmm.
say Kanye West. Um, I'll
I
say
agree.
I'll say Kanye West. I would say The Dream, just because I feel like he's an amazing writer and I just think he's a good, dope producer. Ninth Wonder, which is on here as well. I would definitely say Ninth Wonder. Um, I would say Dr. Dre.
Oh,
You
yes.
know, you're saying hit list, Dr. Dre. Um, and then there's a producer called Salam Remy. And he produced a lot of stuff for Nas, and he produced a lot
Wow.
of stuff for like Amy Winehouse as well.
Oh.
Most of her second album, and he produced a lot for the Fugees as well. I definitely think Amy Winehouse, Salam Remy, yeah, for sure, would be. You know, Amy Winehouse is one of my favorite musicians of all time. So, like, yeah. So I think
So
yeah.
someone said, do a song with World, it will be mad.
Yeah, it will be, man. Like, we've spoken about it. I know him and Ghost have spoken about it a few times, and we've spoken about it. But I think like a lot of these things is like when you meet at the right time, when you enter the studio
Mm-hmm.
at the right time, when everybody's at the right mindset. We never chase features. We never say, guy, you must come and do this for us. It needs to be when he's like, I want to work with SDC, and we too are like, we want to work with World. And then I feel at that point, like the music is always better. Like
Yeah.
the music we create is always better. So, I mean, at some point, I know we'll lock in together and do something for sure.
Hmm. Okay. So who's your biggest musical influence?
My biggest musical influence.
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I'll say Nas.
Mad.
I'll say Nas because, you know, me, the type of artists that I really, really, really love are artists that, you know, like Bob Marley is probably my biggest musician of all time. Maybe Bob Marley and Michael Jackson shall be a cross between the two of them. Because as much as people know that Michael Jackson sang all these pop records, he also has records like All I Want to Say Is That They Don't Really Care About Us. Like, he also has consciousness in his music, low key, you know, like Stranger in Moscow, different, like many different songs, you know. And that growing up, that was like my favorite musician. I could sing every Michael Jackson song. And then, like, I'll say Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, Nas, Lauryn Hill. I tend to gravitate more towards conscious artists, you know. Those are the types of artists that, like, really inspire me. Jay-Z inspired me a lot. A lot of it was the swag and the flows. Like, he has so many
Yeah.
different flows. So it was like, let me try this type of flow. Let me, you know, yeah, I'll say those are the guys that really inspired me, I'd say. Yeah.
Okay, so off the top of my head, earlier you mentioned Jay-Z, Eminem, Biggie, and those people. Do you like Lupe Fiasco?
I love Lupe. Funny enough, I was listening to Lupe Fiasco live just now.
Oh, for
And
real?
yeah, I was listening to him talking live about the stuff that's going on in America. Lupe Fiasco is funny because, like, I always have to, people always ask, what's your top 10 rappers, right? And somehow I always forget Lupe.
To put
But
him,
yeah, but the truth is that, like, just off his first two albums alone, like, he's definitely in my own top 10 rappers for sure.
yeah,
I
I
don't
love
really
him.
like so much of his latest stuff, but
Old stuff,
yeah, his old stuff, like, was just on the next level. Like,
true.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so we're back to the woman matter, So I like to ask, so what were your worst relationships or biggest heartbreaks? Plus the one you did. I always say this. Don't come and tell me how they broke your heart. The one that you broke, please tell me as well. Yeah.
Okay. My, you said worst relationship, is that what you said? Or
Yeah,
biggest heartbreak? Um,
both. Like, I mean, your worst relationship has to have come with heartbreak now, Abby.
yeah.
So,
I think that this may sound crazy, and I'm just talking about relationships. So people that's like, we are both of the knowledge that we are in a relationship, not people that might think. Then yeah, people that we're actually in a relationship with. I haven't had any, like, I've had maybe one bad experience, and that was just because, and even that bad experience, like, I would honestly say it was my fault because the person just came out of a relationship, and
uh,
was very clear that, look, I've just come out of a relationship, and you know, and I was like, I'm Superman, don't worry, I'll fix all the things that guy
did.
I'll fix all the things he couldn't do. I will, you know, and so it was too soon, you know, and she was very clear, like, look, it's too soon, like, but
Yeah.
I feel at that point I was very persistent, you know, I was very persistent. So we started dating, she wasn't ready. So, like, so for me, the reason why I say it was my fault is that when she started doing things that were out of place,
Hmm.
right? It was as a result of that, and you know, and so yeah, I'll say I was heartbroken in the end because I think she wasn't fully over her past boyfriend, and you know,
Oh.
and maybe went back a few times without my knowledge. so 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 yeah, so I think I was heartbroken. I was heartbroken at the time, you know. Yeah.
So, see, I know this. Like people always like people like you when you say you've never had any real bad experience and maybe just one. I now keep wondering. So, what is to make you to break up with the person? Because I'm sure it's not one relationship you've had. I mean, so it might not be a lot. It might be two or three. So, if you guys didn't have anything bad, why do you guys now always scatter?
So
If there was
so
nothing bad.
I'll say that um a couple of my relationships we broke up because of distance. Like, we broke up because,
Okay.
like, I was dating someone and I moved to Nigeria, and I don't know, like, um I don't know about, like, long distance, like, is tough for me. Now that I'm older, it's probably a bit easier, you know, because I'm constantly working and I'm constantly trying to do things. So I actually don't like people that want to just, like, you know, this may sound crazy, but people that want to possess you and just be around you every 10 seconds of the day. And exactly, like, I need space. So sometimes maybe long distance relationship might be better because it creates that space naturally. But back then I couldn't deal with long distance relationships.
Wow.
Um, and then in other relationships, I just feel it was age, man. Like when I was growing up, I used to have this idea that, okay, the type of girl I want to date now must be a businesswoman who is da 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 da, or the type of girl I want to date now must be a church girl who is da 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 da,
Oh, my
And
pastor.
so I feel like I was dating a type rather than a person.
Uh-huh.
So when you now get there, like, okay, this person she's an amazing business person, did it, but maybe like, maybe like that's not, like maybe that's not all you need, or maybe that's not all she needs, or like, you date somebody that's like, who travels all the time and because of work, and you realize that, actually maybe I just want somebody who is, so I don't know, man. I feel like it's just figuring out that, like, you just have to find somebody that, like, their personality meshes with your own.
Mm-hmm.
Really. Yeah.
So you should be compatible with them, not their career or their
Yeah, not
or
their
what you feel
career, not their. I
mad.
mean, you pray that they have some kind of ambition in life,
Yeah, of
but
course.
I mean, like, really, it's about. I'm learning more that is about. For me, anyway, I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, I feel that, like, the most important thing for me is dating somebody that you can see from the person is trying to better themselves. Whether that's spiritually, whether that's ambition, work wise, whatever. But whenever you see the person, you can tell that the person may not be there right now, but the person is trying to better themselves, constantly trying to be better. If the person has, like, maybe she has anger issues or whatever, maybe she's trying to be better with her anger issue. Maybe she's trying to know God more. Maybe she's
Yeah.
trying, I feel like those are the things. Once you find someone that is willing to improve, and you yourself you are willing to improve, then you guys can make it work. You can figure it out. That's my own limited dating knowledge.
Mad, mad, mad. Somebody said I said mad. It's touching me. It's touching me because it's making a lot of sense. A lot of people don't think like this these days. People just want to form bad guy, hard guy. So if you notice, I've said this before, when he talks about relationship, a there's a way he changes. So you can tell that people like this cherish things like that. So I mean that's why I smile when he's talking. So it's a good thing. I can relate to what he's saying. So that's why I'm
Sorry, I just want to clarify something. Mero
okay.
Gumin here said, I heard tech has a thing with Thames. I manage Thames, so it is a business relationship, please. Because a few people, like, because I post her stuff a lot, and I don't really
Okay.
like to put out that I also manage
Manage.
artists.
Okay.
So, like, people are like, why is tech always posting Thames' stuff or whatever? I manage, like, I'm actually one of her managers, yeah. So it's a business relationship.
Okay. So tell us the craziest thing that has ever happened to you, like something that was really, really hard for you to believe.
The craziest, it depends. There's many angles to this question. Like, do you mean good things, bad things? Like, what type of?
It can be anyone. There are crazy things that happen to people, and people don't believe that things like that can happen to them. And there are bad things that people don't believe that they survived or could happen, and they are like still existing. So, whatever one you choose, good or bad or both.
I mean, I think for me, like, in living in Nigeria, I've had a couple of, and I've said this before in other places, but I've had a couple of, like, I guess, I'll just say one symbol. So I think one of the things that I never expected to happen to me was to be to spend a night in Nigerian police cell.
Oh, I want to hear this.
So maybe let me just keep it down. I don't want to go too deep. So let's say, yeah, it was like spend the night in Nigerian police cell over a case of mistaken identity. you know, yeah, and and it was literally, luckily for me, the day that it happened actually was on my birthday. Funny enough, it was on my birthday, and when we got to the place, they took our phones from us, they took everything from us, you know. And it's funny because they now handcuffed us with other some other guys that they are caught selling weed in Bar Beach, you know
Kai.
that you know. So yeah, I mean, like, it was crazy, but luckily for me, very lucky, is that like one one guy who was there who came to visit one of the policemen. Um, this was like the next day, so this is like they locked us up from like maybe 1 a.m. the night before. Then this maybe like 4 p.m. the next day.
Next day.
At this point, they've taken our
Whoa.
phone, so I can't call anybody. It's my birthday, so different people are trying to reach me. My mother is trying to reach me. Nobody has heard from me since the night before. And then so this guy who was just there just turned and looked at me and just said, you're not a criminal." I said, "I
Oh.
know." I'm trying to tell everybody here, I'm not a criminal. The guy said, "What happened?" I said, "We went out to go and buy this shawarma for my birthday, and mistaken identity. These guys have arrested me. I don't have a phone. My mother, I really gave the guy the sub story. I said, my mother is a widow. She's old, which is true. She is a widow, but
Yeah.
like, she's old.
Just yeah.
She needs to hear from me. Otherwise, So the guy said, okay, you know what? Let me give you my phone to quickly use, and call her. And then at that point, I realized I didn't even know her number, because I don't know numbers like
Awesome.
offered or
Yeah.
whatever. So I now told the guy, does he mind? Can I just use his internet? And he said yes. So I went to his email and I wrote to one of my cousins and I told her that, look, I'm in this Morocco police station. I've been arrested since last night. This is not a scam. This is Wale. I called her nickname. All those things she would know, because she's getting an email from a weird guy.
Yeah.
And thankfully she got the email and they were able to come and get us out of there maybe like 2 hours later.
She's even good because people like us that we don't read mail except we just decide, oh, let me check, or you see a lot. That's the
Yeah,
only thing
no,
that
no, no. I knew the person I was sending it to. I knew if I sent it to my mother, I might
you
be in
will
that
just
cell
sleep
till
there.
today. I might be in that cell till today.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So I mean, I think that was one of the craziest experiences I've had in Lagos, actually. And I realized at that time, that was when I realized that Nigerian police is a transactional business. No, I'm serious. Like,
I know, but
it's literally like people are there. Some people are there that they can afford to spend 1K to come and build them out. Some
mm-hmm.
other people, they can spend 5K to come and build them out. So
Mm-hmm.
they're just gauging the level of the person before they know how they
Mm-hmm.
will release you.
You
And like, so for us, they told us that, man, we will have to pay like I don't remember, it was like 300K or something before they will release us. I said, these people are crazy. They even said they'll carry us to the ATM, to the bank, to go and withdraw the money. Just and it was me and my guy, so they were even saying that like they would even take my guy and leave me, so he has to come back and get me. So that's why I knew that, like, just staying there the whole day, I fully realized that, man, this thing is really a transactional business. So to be
wow.
honest, and there are a lot of good policemen. Let me not throw
No,
everybody
no,
on.
I agree.
There are a lot of people that work in the police, but yeah, that was my experience.
Wow. I'm very sorry that you had that experience. I mean, but
It's
I'm sure
nice.
everybody commenting has had one experience or the other with Nigerian police. You can't be in Nigeria and not have an experience with police. It's
100%.
impossible, you know.
Impossible. Impossible. Impossible.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Tech, for coming on the chimney. We hope to have you
Thank you.
soon. Like I always tell everybody, we're moving to YouTube in a couple of days. So
Nice. Nice.
now when we can move around, because this was supposed to be a location thing, but we have to use live for now. So when we
Yeah.
can move around and then vibe properly and all of that, we'll come and do a proper interview again.
No,
And
for
hopefully
sure.
you'll be in Nigeria because I'm suspecting or thinking that lockdown is what's holding you back, right?
Yes, yes. We can't,
Yeah.
Nigeria airport, you can't enter also.
Exactly. So when all this is over, hopefully Ghost will be here and then
Yes.
we'll come and have both of you. So
No, that'll
thank
be
you
great.
so much.
Thank
Thank
you. I
you so
really
much.
enjoyed this as well.
I
Thank you.
enjoyed it as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming on the show.
All right, then.
God
Take
bless
care.
you.
God bless. Yeah.
Bye. Okay, so we have 26 seconds remaining and I don't want them to cut me off so that I can save the video for you guys. But all the people that were dying and loving Ghost, again, I'm very sorry. It's not my fault. I'm not Ghost. I know break your heart. So see you guys. I'm going to post the next flyer when it's time. Thank you guys for joining in. Hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye.